as breast cancer, and of course people are being told, carry on giving to the Alzheimer's Society, they're going to get to the bottom of it. We already know this. Look at this headline up here that Dr. Joseph McCullough put up. Alzheimer's may be caused by poor diet. Gee, do you think? And this is the Mail, how healthy lifestyle can prevent half, you getting this, half of all Alzheimer's cases, as 1 million expected to suffer from the disease within a decade. Half. If you produced a drug that could do that, you could write your own ticket. So you look at the studies on all this, which is my job, here's what you come up with. Alzheimer's dementia, abnormal sugar glucose intolerance. The reason this sucker has been a little tough to tie down is because it's multifactorial, the causes of it. So it's referred to as type 3 diabetes. So you get abnormal sugar glucose intolerance, and then the sugar is creating a process called glycation, which is where it irreversibly corrupts proteins, and you end up with like slabs of useless meat. An example of this would be cellulite. Cellulite is a glycation process resulting in the corruption of collagen, usually on backs of the legs and that sort of thing. So when glycation, and wheat, remember, releases a large amount of sugar, so this is one of your major glycating agents. Dehydration and lack of whole salt, statins stripping the brain of myelin sheathing we looked at earlier, mercury and soft metals poisoning, vitamin D deficiency, excess homocysteine. This was the thing I was talking about with the Guildford trial, where they take those two groups of people going to early stage dementia. One group they give the placebo to, the other group they give the high potency B1, B6, B9 and B12 in their activated forms, in fact products over there. And it was like flicking a switch, because what it's doing is it's detoxing or methylating the buildup of this stuff, homocysteine, which is an amino acid byproduct of normal body metabolism. So your body's producing homocysteine as a waste product right now, and so long as you're properly fed, it's detoxing that, you're not really getting a problem at all. This is why some people, if they move into foggy thinking, or they start having lapses of memory, and they can't think of the name of that Hollywood actress and all this sort of thing, it's not Alzheimer's. It can just be just a build-up of a homocysteine concentration in the body. When it goes over 13 micromoles in concentration, you go into the tunnel, right? So what we want to do, and this is what they found in Guildford, is they basically detox that thing down under 7 micromoles, and it was like flicking a switch. So that's pretty good. And this whole process of just getting the body set, I'm 65, so what have I got, 20 years, 25, who knows, nobody can say. I think one of the most important things, do you remember David Attenborough once saying, he said, when you're 20 years or you're in your 20s, life is swashbuckling stuff. And when you get up to where I am now, and he said this when he was about 80 or 90, he said suddenly you become more unsure of everything. Now a lot of that is to do with the slowing down of cognitive processes that don't actually need to slow down. What we need to do is, this is essentially the second law of thermodynamics coming in. It's gradual entropy, but it's also caused by the fact that we tend to not get the exercise where we're not maybe eating properly when we're older. We think, oh, well, how long can I last for? And you get all that going on as well. So the main thing is to get this thing bolted into place and to be extremely consistent with how you execute it. Who's heard of a guy called Dr. Vernon Coleman? Anyone heard of Vernon? All right, so Vernon comes out the other day with this one. And what I want you to do with this one is just remember it. You don't need to know the technical terminology I'm going to show you. Just understand what he's saying. And so when you come across either a family member or, say, friends who say, oh, well, we know somebody who's just been diagnosed with Alzheimer's, this needs to be sorted out. So let's go through it. If a friend or relative is diagnosed with dementia, then you should not accept the diagnosis until doctors have confirmed that the patient is not suffering from, here it comes, idiopathic normal pressure hydrocephalus, a disorder which is commonly misdiagnosed as Alzheimer's or Parkinson's. It is important to rule out idiopathic normal pressure hydrocephalus because this disorder can be treated. What it is it's a buildup of cerebrospinal fluid and it can't kind of break out, so it's creating pressure on parts of the brain. And he says one of the telltale signs that somebody may have this problem is they walk like this. They've got this kind of shuffling gait, right? And what they can do is they can simply just pop a hole in and drain the stuff out. And then you're back to normal again. Okay? So just, you can photo that if you want, but just be aware of that, because you will come across people saying, oh, Aunt Joe, he's just been, Uncle Joe's just been diagnosed with Alzheimer's, we don't know what to do now. Here's where I used to live, this is LA. And in the foreground is UCLA, University of California, Los Angeles, one of the top medical universities in the world. And they turn out some pretty smart doctors. Now, we used to live in Brentwood, which is about here in relation to that. And LA was a lovely place to live back in the 80s, and we had a lot of fun out there. It's a complete and utter toilet now, thanks to Gavin Newsom, and however many years he's been spending wrecking the place. You've got homeless shelters everywhere, it's just an absolute mess. Now, the reason I'm bringing this up is because a few years ago, about 7 years ago, UCLA comes out and they say, we have now developed a novel therapeutic program for reversing cognitive decline, and they list it all out. And it's exactly what you and I have been going through today. Eliminate simple carbs, which are sugar-releasing foods, eliminate gluten-processed foods, increase vegetables, fruits, and non-farmed fish, reduce your stress with prayer, yoga, or meditation, take melatonin each night, increase sleep from 4 to 5 hours per night to 7 to 8 hours per night, take methylcobalamin, that's the activated B12, D3, CoQ10, and fish oil, optimize your oral hygiene, hormone replacement therapy, put a line through that and put iodine and selenium. Now notice the fasting. Fasting for a minimum of 12 hours between your dinner and breakfast, and that's sleep hours obviously. Fasting for a minimum of 3 hours between dinner and bedtime. Exercising for a minimum of 30 minutes, 4 to 6 days per week, and preferably raising and lowering your heart rate in that way. That's exactly what we've been going through, and that's just been validated by one of the top medical universities in the world. Acute effects of a chewable beetroot-based supplement on cognitive performance. Apparently beetroot's brilliant at giving you your brain back. Here's another one. She was her old self again, dementia-suffering mother, 82, who didn't recognise her own son, regains her memory thanks to his diet of walnuts, blueberries, and brain-boosting foods. Okay, so these are all things you can just shoehorn into the diet. So just to wrap this one up, never retire. One of the most important things is always keep active. Now you can technically retire from the company you've worked with for 40 years, and glad to see the back of them, but always keep active. This should be a transition to something that you can become active in. Lifespan versus health span. Stay active, stay healthy, build strength, improve balance, protect your joints, stay mobile. I'm a big fan of 7-minute Tai Chi routines. You can do chair Tai Chi, which is a 7-minute routine. You can even spend 12 quid and get a yoga mat off Amazon, and then you can do various types of exercises. Walking, I've got a whole ton of dogs, so we're walking out 3 times a day. And if you walk like that, exercising the calf muscles, this is almost like a second heart. It's pumping up through here, through the proximal valve. And this is again, improving circulation. One of the other things you want to do, who's tried planking? Anyone tried planking? Yes. Adopt this position, and I guarantee if you do it for the first time, see if you can do 60 seconds, you're doing well. Well, what it's going to do is it's going to tighten the core. The more you do it, the more it's going to tighten these muscles that you see here. And this is important for stature, stance. It's going to help with the joints and all the rest of it. Very, very straightforward to do. Simple exercise. These are just very quick exercises to do. And the magic is in repeating them over and over again. A couple other thoughts just as we finish this a little bit off. Be kind or be quiet. If you have nothing good to say, say nothing. That's hard to do sometimes, isn't it? And if you fall out with a loved one, 48-hour rule applies. That's where you're nice, but you just are non-committal, just let the whole thing settle. If it's a real bust-up, 72-hour apply. Okay. Kindness projects attention from yourself. Kindness, by the way, speaks a language without words. Let your actions speak louder than your words. Kindness is a sign of advanced strength. What this world needs is it needs justice, but it also needs kindness. But it needs that firm it needs adult kindness, where people can know where you're coming from and know that you're there in their corner, but at the same time, you can't be cajoled. It's as simple as that. And this is important for our society to get back. We're going to take a break in a minute, and we're going to just get back into the war briefly before we finish. 7 actions that extend life. Live in a toxin-free environment, have an alkalized body system, be well hydrated, eat natural, properly constituted food, be active, manage your stress input, maintain an optimism and positive outlook for the future. Lots of people, oh, Philip, I think Britain's done now. Oh, I think we're finished, we're done. Well, you might as well just finish it all now, but don't, because the best bit is yet to come. So we're going to take a break for 15 minutes and I'm going to show you how this is going to kick off. Thanks.